compound that makes it nearly impossible to burn fat and lose weight. That's why I invested 10 years of my life to create the world's healthiest bread. Today, I reveal the secret so you can enjoy delicious real bread without worrying about your health, your blood sugar, or your waistline. Dear reader, Kelly Herring, there are few foods more comforting and enjoyable than bread, whether it is a warm piece of focaccia dipped in olive oil, a sandwich on a chewy baguette, a flaky croissant, or even the simplest slice of toast with butter. Just thinking about these foods makes your mouth water. And the blissful intoxication you experience when you eat bread is real. In fact, you might say bread is the original food addiction. Traditional bread produces compounds called gluteomorphins. These compounds engage opioid receptors in your brain, the same receptors triggered by drugs like morphine and heroin. Very similar compounds, called casomorphins, are found in cheese. That would certainly explain the euphoric rush of pleasure you feel when biting into a crusty slice of pizza with bubbly, melted cheese. Pizza is doubly addictive with 2 morphine-like compounds in every crusty, chewy slice. And just to make sure you keep coming back for more, the blood sugar spike you get from high-carb bread elevates dopamine, the craving neurochemical from which the word dope originates. So it is no stretch of logic to say that bread is a drug that causes a repetitive cycle of cravings for more bread. Women eating bread are love affair with comforting and addictive. Bread is as old as recorded history. The Bible practically commands followers to eat it. Give us this day our daily bread. It was so revered in ancient Greece, the rest of the meal was called opson, meaning condiment or bread's accompaniment. However, that fuzzy glow you feel when you bite into a slice of warm bread is short-lived. And, unfortunately, those few moments of toasty buttered bliss carry a heavy price. Well-known cardiologist, Dr. William Davis, calls wheat the perfect chronic poison. And for a poison, we sure eat lots of it. The average American consumes 55 pounds of wheat flour every year, making refined flour the #1 source of calories in the American diet. Functional nutrition expert Chris Kresser describes this as a public health catastrophe. And it's one you have likely experienced firsthand. Eating traditional bread can elicit a range of symptoms. It might make you feel sluggish and foggy-headed, or cause you to gain unsightly fat on your belly, butt, and thighs, while packing deadly visceral fat around your internal organs. And part of the reason is because of the little-known compound that makes the glycemic index of wheat among the highest of all foods. You know how important it is to keep your blood sugar stable. Rapid blood sugar and insulin spikes promote a cascade of inflammation and oxidation. Triggering these forces over and over again dramatically increases your risk for cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, fatty liver, diabetes, macular degeneration, physical aging, wrinkles, and more. And did you know that wheat, including so-called healthy whole wheat, spikes your blood sugar more than almost any other food, even when the same number of carbs is consumed? That's because 75% of the carbohydrates in wheat are in the form amylopectin A. This compound is unique because of how rapidly it is transformed to glucose. According to research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, eating just 2 slices of whole wheat bread spikes your blood sugar more than drinking a can of soda, eating a candy bar, or helping yourself to 6 teaspoons of table sugar. Glycemic index of common foods. And if the threat of diabetes, heart disease, and metabolic syndrome is not enough, the damage traditional bread can do to your gut should make you think long and hard before you butter your next biscuit. Unfortunately, however, there is a big misconception about bread and your gut. And it has cost millions of people their health and enjoyment in life. Don't be fooled by this common and deadly myth about bread. What you don't notice can hurt you. You're probably familiar with celiac disease. It is the most serious and often life-threatening sensitivity to grains that contain gluten. Many who suffer this condition cannot consume even the slightest speck of wheat without severe digestive pain and other embarrassing symptoms. Other illnesses, like Crohn's and inflammatory bowel disease, also result in debilitating cramping, bloating, and other digestive distress when wheat is consumed. Bread can cause fire in the belly even if you feel no digestive distress. This leads many people to believe that as long as you can eat bread without belly problems, then you must be in the clear, no harm done. Do not be fooled by this dangerous myth. Truth is nearly 50% of newly diagnosed celiac patients have no digestive symptoms. In other words, half of the people who are extremely sensitive to wheat can still consume it without the typical stomach problems. The bottom line is, even if you can eat a 3-foot submarine sandwich without the slightest gurgle in your tummy, does not mean it is not hurting you. Even if you feel just fine after eating bread, every bite is causing silent damage to your gut and quietly setting you up for serious disease. Dr. Alessio Fasano is a professor of medicine and distinguished researcher, with more than 240 peer-reviewed papers to his credit. 3-foot submarine sandwich. His research, in addition to dozens of other scientists around the world, shows that wheat causes chronic gut inflammation. Compounds within it can also do direct damage to every tissue in your body. And you don't need certain genetics for the damage to occur. It happens to everyone who consumes it. Of course, the inflammatory protein we call gluten is partly to blame. In fact, the New England Journal of Medicine lists 55 conditions which can be caused by gluten, ranging from those as benign as canker sores to diseases as serious as cancer. But gluten is only a fraction of the story, because traditional bread also contains the greatest risk in the American diet. A study published in Plant Physiology shows that modern wheat is capable of producing at least 23,788 unique proteins, and any one of these can trigger an inflammatory response. This is why some people react severely to wheat, but have no reaction to gluten, even in high doses. The most dangerous proteins in wheat are known as lectins, the primary compounds plants use to protect themselves from insects, bacteria, and you. Lectins are actually designed to poison you. In fact, the poison known as ricin, deadly in amounts as small as half a grain of sand, is a lectin. Of course, most lectins won't kill you overnight, but they can make you very sick over time. Among the most dangerous is wheat germ gluten, and studies show that WGA is toxic to the heart and blood vessels. It can exert these effects in minute concentrations, and just one kernel of wheat contains 16.7 trillion molecules of this toxic compound. Just imagine the dose you get when you eat bread at nearly every meal. And don't forget, the highest concentrations are found in supposedly healthy whole and sprouted grains. And if that's not enough, WGA is also the reason why it's nearly impossible to burn fat and lose weight when you're eating bread. You've probably heard of insulin as the fat storage hormone. When insulin and glucose levels are high, fat storage increases and fat burning stops. That's why high glycemic traditional bread is so effective at making you